Welcome to yet another episode of the Third Man Cricket Show, where we are going to cover the second Test match between England and New Zealand at Edgbaston. And boy, what a wait it was, especially with all that was going on the social media, with all those unwanted controversies surrounding the English cricket. I mean, it's safe to say that we actually demanded the return of cricket as soon as possible, and it was really unfortunate to see what kind of a situation that was blown out of proportion after that Oli Robinson saga. I mean, we it is so glad to have Test cricket back to divert our mind into it, and we got two special guests on our show, Abhinav Mishra and Ashwin. Really excited to have you both on the show, and looking forward to having a healthy discussion about the game that is in hand. So let us begin straight with the breaking news that has just come in while we started the show from the New Zealand camp, and that is BJ Watling, the man who is set to retire after the England tour, after the World Test Championship final, has indeed been ruled out with a back injury. And it is said that Tom Blundell will be coming into the 11 and batting in at number 6, taking the gloves for the Kiwi side. So, Abhinav, straight to you. Injuries have come in pretty badly for New Zealand squad, and with Kane Williamson being ruled out earlier this week, and now with the news around BJ Watling, it is tough times to be a Kiwi supporter right at the eve of the World Test Championship final. So, what are your take on this?
Yeah, I mean it's a big setback for New Zealand losing BJ Watling and Kane Williamson in the same game because they have literally been the players that stick this team together. I mean the other players rely a lot on these two guys. So and losing both of them in the same game, and so this means that more pressure on Ross Taylor and Tom Latham and Devon Conway, who's just playing his second game. Clearly is a senior in that lineup.
Definitely, and Omkar in the comments is expressing his feelings as an Indian cricket fan after watching this kind of injury news coming in from the New Zealand team. And once in the comment rightly pointed out that they will be going into the World Test Championship final with a bit of hesitancy. So before the start of the England series, we rightfully deemed them as the favorites going into the final because of the kind of preparation that they will be having after these two Test matches. But now, with all these injuries surrounding the camp, they will be really a bit worried. So, Ashwin, do you think that New Zealand will be still starting off as the favorites in the World Test Championship final, especially with all that's going around their camp?
Actually, the team is surely having a bit of pressure right now because they don't have Kane Williamson because he has had an elbow injury. So we are not sure whether he will be able to play the final. And now Walting is also out. So I think this not only creates a pressure among the team members as well as in the team management as well, because two players who are sure in the playing 11 at the final is now missing out. So this would create a pressure on them as well as on the management. So I think India are the favorites to win this time.
And also we don't know what is the extent of the injuries for both of them. So that is also a big concern for New Zealand. If Kane Williamson is ruled out of the World Test Championship final, then it's India's game to lose. Then you can say,
Definitely, and I think with the elbow injury, it is always going to be really
yeah.
tricky kind of situation for the New Zealand squad, because we know that the extent of the injury is always going to be important. And even if Kane Williamson is set to play in that final, it is safe to say that he won't be at his 100%. So this is going to be a very tough week for New Zealand. And in the comments, Ankit is asking us that who is going to open for New Zealand in this match, because we know that Tom Latham is set to open. He's the new captain for New Zealand squad in this Test match, and he did captain in the earlier series against West Indies as well, really well. So I think in a report on CricBuzz, it was mentioned that Blundell will be batting in at number 6, taking the gloves. So it is safe to say that Conway and Latham will continue to open. So Ashwin, your thoughts on Latham and Conway's impact at the top of the order? They did have a good game in the first Test match. So do you think that if BJ Watling is set to miss out that Test match in Southampton, and Blundell is going to make his way into the 11? So do you think that Blundell at number 6 and Latham Conway opening the innings will be the right way going forward for New Zealand?
I think that's the better option because we saw what both of them did in the first test match. So I think it's better if we go with the same position because actually Blandel is making it to the team after some time. He's been out. He's not played the matches so consistently. So I think it would be better if he doesn't open. Just let him watch the game and understand the conditions. And coming after that would be better according to me.
Definitely. And also talking about the other team in hand, that is the England cricket team, and they were always going to be under pressure after ahead of this test match, especially after what happened with the entire Ollie Robinson saga. And Abhinav, I think this was expected after it being a very trending topic in the last past week about the entire controversy, the social media controversy surrounding the England cricket team. And it started off as investigating Ollie Robinson and then suspending him. It was actually debatable on social media whether ECB did the right thing or not, suspending him for what he did around 7 or 8 years ago. But then after that, this entire thing blew out of proportion, and we are seeing that their old the old tweets of most of the players are being investigated as well. So couple of unnamed players that ECB are currently investigating, and it is said that that player was 15 years old when he made that derogatory statement. And now we're also seeing that the captain of the England team, the limited overs captain Owen Morgan, and even the vice captain Josh Butler are being scrutinized for their tweets in made in 2017 or 18. So, Abhinav, a quick question to you: do you think that this entire situation has been blown entirely out of proportion, especially starting off of what it was with the Ollie Robinson saga? Do you feel that it is unnecessary to dwell too much into this?
Completely unnecessary. I mean, if you heard the Michael Holding interview where he said that people do make mistakes. I mean, there's no person out there who hasn't made a mistake like this when he was 17 or 18. We all make mistakes, and now if you start investigating into these small matters, I mean, people change. I mean, we have seen Ollie Robinson mention that I am a changed person. We have also seen Josh Butler and Owen Morgan being investigated for their tweets, and they are the captains of their national side, and along with that they are respected international cricketers. So they've come here after I mean achieving a lot. They've worked hard for this, and for such a minor thing, I don't think this all should be taken away from them. So I think this is of no use. I mean, it's simple as that. People do deserve a second chance, and Ollie Robinson is being scapegoated here only because he's making his debut. Had he played 15 to 20 games already for England, this issue wouldn't have been so big in international state.
Definitely, and there were a couple of things related to this, that whether ECB should have investigated it before he made that test debut. I mean, to rob him off after what a glorious debut it was, it is really unfair on Robinson's part. I mean, you never want to get sacked from your job, especially after for what you did 8 or 9 years ago down the line, and it is really unfair of how this situation was handled. And hoping that this entire saga comes to an end very soon, because we don't want to see unwanted
Yeah,
controversies stirring around
exactly.
cricket world.
This is
So
just spoiling international cricket, man. As simple as that. I mean, we love this. We love this sport for what it is. I mean, not with what is happening outside. So let's just get done with it and get things back on track. I mean, let's play cricket fair and square, play hard, play fair, and entertain the crowd.
definitely, let's play cricket hard and fair. Rightly pointed out by Avinav there, and so we will do on this show as well. So let us dive down back to the game in hand. Edgbaston, it is known for the loud nature of the crowd. That is the English cricket fans, and Edgbaston crowd is pretty sure one of the most dangerous place to visit, especially if you are an away team. So I think with 18,000 set to make their return into the Test cricket stadium, it is going to be advantage England, that's for sure. So Ashwin, Edgbaston is known for its two-paced wicket, and it is known for assisting spin, especially after 3 4 days of Test cricket being played. So we know that we talked about how Jack Leach not playing that Test match was a blunder, and it is said that he is going to definitely make his way into the 11. So do you think that apart from Leach making his way into the 11, do you feel that another changes needs to be made in that England squad?
No, actually, I only look at the change of actually Oli Robinson going out because of these issues and all, and Jack Leach coming back. So that's the only change, and that's also the necessary change that is required because, as you mentioned, in the day 4 and day 5, actually, it's said that in this pitch, actually, the spinners have a huge role. So I don't think that England should go with just Joe Root. And there's one more interesting stat that the last innings average in this ground is below 150, I guess. And considering the other three average score, it is more than 300. So we understand that how much the pitch slows down, and the spinners will surely make a huge role. So I think Jack Leach should come into the 11.
Definitely, and we know that Edgbaston is known for its tough nature of the pitch, but also on the pitch as well. And as you rightly pointed out, that it will assist spinners as well. So we know that Mitchell Santner is supposedly ruled out of this test match, and New Zealand are without their frontline spinner at least for this test match. And there was a comment in made by Ankit that will Ezaz Patel make his way into the 11, being the frontline spinner for New Zealand in this test match. So Abhinav, your thoughts on Ezaz Patel and him possibly making his way into the 11, leading the
Yeah, I
spin
mean,
attack for New Zealand?
yeah, he straight away comes into the 11 for Mitchell Santner, who is, I guess he's resting for this game. I clearly don't know what was the case with Santner. And Ejas Patel, yes, he's a pretty good left arm orthodox, pretty different to Mitchell Santner. I mean, Santner operates with a bit of pace in his action, and Ejas Patel is a proper left arm spinner, we can say. So yeah, he walks straight into the 11 for Mitchell Santner for me.
Definitely. And also talking about an experienced player amongst one team, James Anderson. There is a news coming in that James Anderson is going to start this test match, this special test match at Edgbaston, making him the most capped England player. He goes past the record held by Sir Alistair Cook, 161 test matches, and it is such a big achievement, especially for what Jimmy has been for England squad. And he's such an integral part of England cricket, and he has been since last 15 years or so. So Ashwin, your thoughts on Jimmy Anderson's legacy in England cricket, and how crucial he will be going forward for England cricket, especially in this year. We talked about England's schedule for this year, the India tour, the Ashes, and even this Test match. So, do you think that Jimmy will be coming back to his groove in this Test match?
Yeah, actually, I want him to come back to his form because we know that what he have done for England cricket because that fast bowling duo with Stuart Broad that he created in the past several years, it's been unstoppable show. And as we are also approaching one more record, we are also seeing him to break one more record that is reaching the third highest wicket takers in the sport in the Test championships. I mean the Test games after crossing Anil Kumble. I think he requires 4 or 5 wickets to reach that, and I hope that he does it in this match itself.
Definitely. And we are just 1 minute away from the toss, and we will be informed by our friends in the comments who are pretty active today. So
We call
hopefully,
him Sir James Anderson now then.
yeah, maybe I think he deserves that
Yeah, I mean, he
that
already has a
title.
stand named after himself, so why not give him this as well?
Definitely. And I think, as I was talking about the toss being just moments away, and we will be notified in the comments as well. So, Abhinav, toss being an important factor at Edgbaston, we saw what happened in Edgbaston in 2018, where we fell down. I think it was really disappointing how we did not win that test match, chasing a total of 200. So, toss will be really important. So, win the toss, bat first to be an ideal situation.
Yeah, simple as that. Win the toss, bat first. You have a good advantage, putting up a good score, and the wicket is pretty good to bat first. At Baston, we have seen, if you bat well, if you bat deep, there is a possibility if you get around 300, 350. That's a good first inning score on this wicket, and with spin coming into play in the third or fourth day, that is clearly advantage for the team batting first. So win the toss, bat first.
Definitely. And Ashwin, you agree with what Abhinav has said? Winning the toss, batting
Yeah,
first
for
to be.
sure. Yeah, I mean the toss bat first. Actually, this pitch actually offers to the seam bowlers at the first two sessions. So actually, the team batting first should go slow. They should keep their calm. They should keep calm, and after the second session is over, they should start attacking the bowlers and make sure that the last, at least in the last day, the other team is there batting so that we can take over them by the spinners, so that the pitch gets slowed down a bit. Slow down, actually not a bit. Actually, the pitch slowed down mostly, and it is very much advantageous for the spin bowlers. And we have seen that the spinners take more wickets during the last 2 days of this test match in this ground. So I think batting first is a better option.
Definitely. And Ronak in the comments is mentioning that toss might not play much of a factor, as second and third innings is better to bat than first and fourth innings. And hopefully that is going to be the case in this test match, because we know that the weather forecast for this test match is supposedly better than what it was for the first test match, and hopefully it doesn't change, as we know the nature of the England weather. It is always difficult. And the news is coming in, as Sanmay in the comments rightfully mentioned, that England have indeed won the toss and they have decided to bat first. So our predictions from the experts are bang on, right? We are batting first. So Abhinav, happy as a from an England's point of view, especially after what was going on in the previous week, especially related to what of the off the field controversies. I think winning the toss is the right step towards that recovery phase. So your thoughts
Yeah.
on the toss?
Yeah, good decision for me. And with the crowd coming back as well, supporting the home team, that is the best decision they could have got from the toss. And this is the time where the England whole squad needs to come together and in support of Ollie Robinson as well. I mean, I guess I saw an interview of Joe Root in the morning today that he mentioned that cricket is a sport. Let's keep it to that and uh, not something controversial. So yeah, I mean, let's get all the other stuff out of our mind and just focus on playing cricket for the next 5 days.
Definitely. And Rishi has predicted it right, as he predicted England to win the toss and batting first. Sanmay in the comments has given us the playing 11 for both the sides. So let us talk about the England playing 11 first. So Ashwin, it is said that it is pretty similar to what it was in the first test match. And we still have no. The big news is that there is still no Jack Leach in the 11. And Ollie Stone is set to make his return into the test cricket with this test match. And your thoughts on the 11, Ashwin? Disappointed with no Jack Leach in this test match, especially with the condition might favor him.
Yeah, actually, I don't understand why England are doing this. On seeing, at least they should learn from the first Test match that how they struggled without a proper spin bowler. I think it's a bad decision that Leach is not playing. I think they are just looking forward for the scene that they will get from the England pitches. I think they are still thinking about that, and they are hoping that Joy Root does the same that he did in India and in the first Test. But we can't always say that because he's not a proper spin bowler. He's just a part-time, and he comes assist Jack Leach, because even if we see the series against India, we have seen that after Jack Leach bowling so many overs, then only Joe Root came and just to assist him. But I don't think this was the right decision. But actually, it's all announced, so they have to go in this way itself. So let's see what happens.
Definitely. And Abhinav, your thoughts before we take a look at the New Zealand's 11. There is
I mean,
one.
I'm
There,
quite surprised with the
yeah,
with the England lineup again, and Ollie Stone for Ollie Robinson and still not playing a spinner when you know that the wicket assist spinners on day three of starting from day three. So yeah, I mean, let's see if England don't put up a good score on board, then it could be curtains from them with this bowling lineup once again, because Mark Wood and Ollie Stone are similar kind of bowlers. I mean, they bowl quick, so let's see. I mean, still, Jack Lee should have been in this lineup for me for Ollie Stone.
definitely. And let us now take a look at the New Zealand's playing 11. So, Tom Latham has indeed been named as the captain in the absence of Kane Williamson, and along with him, Devon Conway, who had a splendid game in this first match. Will Young is set to play his first test match. I'm not sure if he has already made his debut, but he will be playing in the top order of New Zealand. And Ross Taylor, Henry Nichols, Tom Blundell, as we know that BJ Watling has indeed been ruled out of this test match. So Blundell will be taking the job of the wicketkeeper in this. And Daryl Mitchell and Azaz Patel both will be playing in this test match in the absence of Tim Saudi and I think one more name. So a
Right.
rotational team that has been put in by the New Zealand squad ahead of the World Test Championship final, and we very well expected this to happen. So Ashwin, your thoughts on New Zealand's playing 11? And Ronak in the comment has mentioned that Trent Bowl replacing Saudi is absolutely criminal in the name of rotational policy. So it's safe to say that Ronak is not happy with the playing 11 put out by the New Zealand squad. So Ashwin, your thoughts on the 11?
I don't think that it's a rotation policy. It's almost saving the players for the final match because I
Yeah.
think it's better actually to save someone like Tim Southey and Kyle Jameson for the final. But I actually didn't expect a Trent Bolt also. To be frank, I expected someone like Jacob Duffy to play in this game. If Neil Wagner was there, he would have been my only left-hand bowler, and I would expect Jacob Duffy to play. But I think that they are pretty much saving their players. We have seen Colin Grandam is not also in the 11, so because I think this is the right thing they should do. We have seen some of their important players getting injured, so I think it's better if they save their few important players like Grandom and Saudi for the final match. It's pretty good for the team.
Definitely. And Trent Bolt, as you rightly pointed out, that he is making his way into the Test squad once again, and this could be actually a good thing for New Zealand going ahead into the World Test Championship final. So, Abhinav, you think that playing Trent Bolt before the World Test Championship final instead of just bringing him on for that final itself, I think it's a good move, especially with him getting all the match practice that is needed days before the final.
Yeah, it's a good move from New Zealand. Trent Bolt had to play this game, and Saudi needed rest. I mean, you can't let any injury around Team Saudi at this moment. So New Zealand are being careful with that. And clearly, Trent Bolt, Neil Wagner, Kyle Jamieson, and Team Saudi are going to be playing in the World Test Championship final, provided that there are no injuries. So, but I'm just surprised with the six changes. I mean, this is a completely different New Zealand lineup. I didn't expect so many changes. Yeah, I mean 3 to 4 changes are. Rotating 3 to 4 players who are injured is fine, but playing Daryl Mitchell and William both at the same time, I'm quite surprised.
Yes, I was actually going to come to Ashwin here regarding this point. I think making six changes, especially with what a week that is lined up for them, this could mean that they are in that space of hesitancy, building ahead, and they are quite nervous about their starting 11 surrounding all this intro injuries controversy going around. So, Ashwin, do you think that New Zealand are feeling that bit of pressure of the final, and they are worried about the fitness of their player going forward?
As we mentioned earlier, an elbow injury has happened to Kane Williamson. It's very much crucial because we can't say that he can recover 100%. And even if he's playing the final, we can predict. We can say that he would give us. He will give us 100% performance as usual. And I think that's the reason why they have made this much changes. Actually, they are saving their place because if something happens to their crucial bowler like Tim Southey, it would be a great loss for them. I think that have made them make this much changes, and actually a few changes have come at the last minute, I guess, regarding BJ Watting getting injured. So I think it's better for New Zealand in going in this one. But one issue that I think actually it's not an issue; it's a threat. It's regarding Trent Bolt. Actually, it's good to give him a match so that he can be ready for the final. But actually, if he gets an injury like what happened with the other players, it's going to be tough time for New Zealand. So that's my only New Zealand team now.
पार्थ इन द कमेंट इज सेइंग दैट जो रूट जितना कॉन्फिडेंस चाहिए जिंदगी में बस
सही में.
that's pretty much. I think it's good to be optimistic in life,
Yeah.
especially with what is going around. And I would just like to divert Abhinav's attention to one of the comments made earlier about Hasib Hamid here. So can we have that comment on displayed on the screen? That Sai Sachit has mentioned that. What about Hasib Hamid? Do you think that he could have been picked ahead of Zach Crawley? Because this is a very interesting selection headache to have, because we know that England are currently facing that problem at the top of the order. They are not able to find that perfect openers for them since Alistair Cook has retired. So maybe giving Hasib Hamid a go in this test match wouldn't have been a bad decision. So Abhinav, your thoughts on him possibly making his way into the 11 in place of Crawley could have been a good move?
Uh, Well, if you see, Zach Crawley had a pretty good series against West Indies and Pakistan when cricket resumed in the COVID stage. So I guess, and he played pretty well. I guess he got a double hundred as well against Pakistan. I guess, and it was here only. So Hasib Hamid, yes, he has been pretty. He's been doing pretty good in the domestic circuit for his county team. And I guess this is the last game which Zach Crawley is given, because there's a five match test series coming up and against India. So I think England are looking at from that point of view. Let's give Zach Crawley another go. And if he fails, then clearly Hasib Hamid is ready as a first choice opener along with Dom Sibley.
Definitely. And we are just 5 minutes away from our closing time of the pre match show. So let us take on the last segment for the day. And it is a fun one because we get to wear our predictions hat for this session. And let us start off with Ashwin here. So, New England winning the toss, batting first, a good start for them. So, talking from a New Zealand's point of view, bowling first in a good conditions at Edgbaston. We know the kind of conditions that Edgbaston gives to the side batting first. So, from a New Zealand's point of view, who is going to be your pick for the first session? And tell me also about your predictions after the end of first session.
I think Trent Bolt would be my man for the first two sessions because as we know that the first two sessions we'll be expecting good fast bowling because there will be a lot of swing there. So I think the first two sessions will be dominated by New Zealand itself. I expect 2 wickets to fall in the first session, and I don't think much. I think about 30 to 40 runs would be made by England, and 2 wickets would fall, and but one would be taken by Bolt and one by Wagner. That's my prediction.
30 to 40 for two in a test match played in 2021. I think it's safe to say, especially after what England had done in the last test match, batting in the fourth innings, that was a snooze fest. So I think I get your point about predicting 40 runs just in one session. So Abhinav, your thoughts on the predictions and your pick from the England's point of view? Who is going to be your pick in that batting lineup? And also tell us about your score predictions.
Well, I'm going very ahead of Ashwin. I'm saying 55 to 60 for no loss or just a wicket down at the end of first session. So and yeah, I mean I'll also go with Trent Bolt picking up the wicket if there's a wicket. I only see a loss of 1 wicket for New Zealand. I mean Rory Burns has been in pretty good form, and so has Dom Sibley in the last inning. So I'm going with 55 to 60 for no loss or just a wicket down.
Well, definitely. I think for no loss should be a bold call, especially knowing what the English openers are capable of and their hard times in the last couple of years as well. So hopefully, from England's point of view, I think that should be the case as well. So thank you, Ashwin. Thank you, Abhinav, for joining us, and it was a splendid discussion. And hoping to see a great game of Test cricket and to divert our mind, especially after what has been happening in the last week or so. So hoping that the medicine that we have from the Test cricket continues to have its effect on all of us. So thank you everyone for joining us in the comments as well. Your support has been splendid and your comments have always been humorous, and it has kept us entertained in these tough times that we are living in. So thank you everyone once again, and make sure to follow us on all the social media platform. We are the Third Man Cricket Show. We are available on almost all the social media platforms, and make sure to subscribe to us on YouTube as well, as we bring you daily analysis on match days, weekly podcast, and experts also on our special show that is called the Experts Corner, where we bring you some splendid chats with the experts of the pitch and on the field as well. So make sure to also hit the bell icon so you don't miss any content in the future as well. So thank you once again, and make sure to take care of yourself and also your loved one in these tough times that we're living in, and ensure to get vaccinated as soon as possible, because in this fight of defeating COVID we are all united, and hopefully one day we will be termed as victorious. So thank you once again. Peace out.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.